The cryo chamber was older than the ship itself. It sat in cargo hold 7, surrounded by dust, emergency tape, and warning glyphs in 3 alien languages. The Kestra, a mid-tier research and salvage vessel of the Zalari Union, had discovered it drifting through the void near the ruins of a forgotten battlefield. The capsule bore no recognizable insignia, only scratches, burn marks, and faded symbols in a strange angular script. Humans. The name alone carried weight in the galaxy. Not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as something far worse. Survivors. Captain, we've confirmed the pod is still powered, Technician Ralith reported, his bioluminescent skin pulsing with unease. Life signs are stable. Species, human. Captain Savara's frill stiffened. Humans are extinct. That's what the archives say. Ralith hesitated. The archives also say they were unpredictable, violent, and impossible to fully exterminate. The bridge crew fell silent. The Zalari Union had fought the Human Confederation centuries ago. The war had ended with humanity's collapse, their worlds shattered, their fleets burned. But stories remained, hushed whispers passed among veterans and historians. Humans didn't surrender. They adapted. They endured. They retaliated. Do we wake it? First Officer Trell asked, his voice low and cautious. Savara stared at the feed from cargo hold 7. Inside the pod, a human male floated in pale blue cryogel. He was tall, muscular, covered in scars. A faded tattoo marked his arm, a stylized predator skull with words beneath it. No retreat. No mercy. We're scientists and explorers, Savara said. Not executioners. If he's alive, we wake him. Carefully. The awakening. The crew gathered behind reinforced glass as the cryocycle began its thaw. Vapor poured from the chamber. Monitors beeped as the human's heart restarted with alarming strength. His eyes snapped open. The moment he moved, alarm screamed. He's metabolizing cryofluid too fast. Ralith shouted. That's impossible. Krell said. Cryostasis should leave him weak and disoriented. The human punched the inside of the pod. The reinforced alloy dented. The pod door burst open. He collapsed to his knees, coughing, but his movements were fast. Too fast for someone just revived from decades or centuries of stasis. Easy. You're safe, Savara said through the intercom, though her voice betrayed fear. The human looked around. His eyes were sharp, calculating. He scanned the alien crew like a predator analyzing prey. Where am I? He rasped. You're aboard the Zalari research vessel Kestra, Savara replied. I am Captain Savara. You were found drifting in space. How long have you been in cryo? The human flexed his hands, testing his muscles. Last mission, year 2179. Ralith's skin glowed bright violet. That was over 400 standard years ago. The human closed his eyes briefly. When he opened them, there was no shock. Only quiet acceptance. That tracks. Savara exchanged glances with her officers. He wasn't panicking. He wasn't confused. He was adapting. State your name and affiliation, Savara requested. He stood, towering over the Zalari guards. Sergeant Marcus Kane. United Human Expeditionary Forces. The room froze. Ghosts of a dead war. The Union archives classified Kane's unit as extreme threat shock infantry. Humans had designed soldiers like Kane to operate in impossible environments, survive catastrophic injuries, and fight beyond normal biological limits. Genetic enhancement, neural implants, synthetic muscle fibers, and something else. Unrecorded experimental programs erased during humanity's collapse. We thought all human military personnel were destroyed, Trell said later in the briefing chamber. Apparently not, Savara replied. Kane sat across from them, drinking nutrient paste like it was nothing. You lost, Savara said carefully. Your species collapsed. The war ended centuries ago. Kane nodded slowly. Figures. No anger? No grief. Kane stared at the wall. Grief was a luxury. We didn't get those. The captain felt a chill. Why were you in cryo alone? She asked. Last mission, Kane said. We were sent to secure something. High-value target. Enemy wanted it. Confederation wanted it erased. Everything went wrong. What was it? He hesitated. A signal. The ship's AI chimed in. Unknown transmission detected. Source, cargo hold 7. Savara's frills flared. From the pod. Kane looked toward the hold. Yeah. That. The signal. The crew traced the signal to a device embedded in Kane's pod, an ancient human beacon. When activated, it began transmitting a repeating encrypted burst into deep space. Shut it down. Savara ordered. It's shielded. We can't access it, Ralith replied. Kane stood. Then we need to move. Move where? Anywhere but here. Before Savara could ask more, the sensors screamed again. Multiple warp signatures appeared on long-range scanners. Not Union vessels. Not pirates. Not known species. Unknown fleet incoming, Trell said. Configuration, non-standard. Organic hulls. Kane clenched his fists. They heard it. Who? Everyone. Why humans were feared. As the alien ships emerged from hyperspace, Kane explained. During the war, humanity found something in deep space. Not a species. A network. Something that watches. Listens. Collects. Savara listened, horrified. We called it the Archivists. They harvest civilizations when they reach a certain tech level. We discovered their probes, decoded their transmissions. And? We sent a signal back. A fake one. Made them think humanity was extinct. That the galaxy was quiet. Bought you all time. The captain's eyes widened. You sacrificed yourselves to hide the rest of us? Kane nodded. Confederation burned itself to erase traces. Fleet suicides. Data purges. Planetary sterilizations. We thought if we disappeared completely, the archivists would move on. And the beacon? It was supposed to stay silent forever. If activated, it means humanity failed. Or someone found us. The alien fleet surrounded the Kestra. They found you, Savara whispered. Kane shook his head. They found you. The first contact massacre. The archivist ships began scanning. Their hulls shifted like living metal. Tendrils of light probed the ship's defenses. They're interfacing with our systems. Ralith shouted. Security doors slammed shut. Lights flickered. Then the first boarding pods launched. The Zalari crew had never faced such enemies. Their weapons barely scratched the invaders, tall, skeletal entities composed of dark matter and bioluminescent circuitry. They moved without hesitation, dissecting crew members with precision beams. They're not conquering, Savara realized. They're cataloging. Kane grabbed a fallen guard's weapon. Then we disrupt the catalog. He moved faster than any alien could track. He fired with perfect accuracy, targeting joints, nodes, energy cores. He ripped a panel from the wall and used it as a shield, charging into the enemy. The crew watched in disbelief as one human dismantled creatures that slaughtered trained Zalari Marines. That's why they feared humans, Trell whispered. Not their fleets. Not their technology. Their soldiers. The human doctrine. In the command deck, Kane coordinated defense. Humans fought like a virus, he explained. Adaptive, decentralized, relentless. When we realized we couldn't win, we changed the rules. By erasing yourselves? By hiding. By surviving in fragments. Cryopods. Deep vaults. Rogue colonies. Anyone who lived carried the mission. Never let the archivists know you exist. Savara watched battle feats. Kane fought like a machine, but his eyes showed something deeper. Rage. Why did you stay asleep so long? She asked. Because waking meant failure, he said. The archivists breached engineering. Kane sealed bulkheads. They're learning from our tactics, Ralith said. They're adapting. Kane smirked. Good. Now they're playing a human game. The trap. Kane revealed his plan. The beacon is more than a distress signal. It's a lure. You planned this? Savara asked. No. But I know how humans built these things. He accessed the pod's data core. Confederation doctrine. If humanity is gone, leave a weapon behind. He rerouted power to the beacon. The ship trembled. Self-destruct. Krell asked. Worse. The beacon unfolded into a compact singularity generator, an experimental weapon meant to collapse local spacetime. Humans built this to erase entire fleets, Kane said. But it requires a pilot. Someone to stay behind and guide the collapse. Savara understood. You. He nodded. You just woke up. You don't have to. Yes, I do. The Archivist flagship locked onto the beacon. They think it's a surviving archive. They'll converge. Kane smiled. Let them. The last stand. As the crew evacuated in escape pods, Kane stayed on the bridge. The Kestra became a beacon of doom as the alien fleet swarmed around it. Savara watched from a pod. Human Sergeant Kane, she said over comms, the galaxy owes you a debt beyond measure. Kane chuckled. Humans were good at debts. The Archivist entities boarded the bridge. Kane fought them hand to hand. His implants boosted his strength, his neural systems predicting enemy movements milliseconds ahead. He tore one apart with his bare hands. But they were endless. As the singularity generator reached critical mass, Kane sat in the captain's chair, staring into the void. We tried to warn you, he whispered. The beacon collapsed into itself. Space folded. The Archivist fleet vanished in a silent flash of gravitational annihilation. The Kestra was gone. So was Kane. Epilogue, the human legacy. Years later, Zalari historians recorded the event as the cryo incident. Changed everything. The Union discovered hidden human vaults across the galaxy. Messages, data caches, genetic archives. Humanity had not vanished. They had become ghosts, guardians, myths. A final message from Kane's pod was decoded. If you're reading this, we failed to stay hidden. But remember this, humans don't go extinct. We go underground. We adapt. And when something threatens the galaxy, we wake up. Savara, now an admiral, stared at the stars. Somewhere out there, more cryopods drifted. More humans slept. And the galaxy hoped, quietly, that they would never need to wake again.